Oh boy, so many updates from Evony today. I needed a second dose of caffeine just to get me through the morning. And it's actually crazy. We've got new Ascended Generals. Kaguya Hime is coming to Evony. But most importantly, we've got the Assisted General feature. We were expecting this to come in for a while now. We ended up getting the Ascended Generals and we thought this wasn't coming. But now it's here, Assisted Generals in Evony. So let's take a quick look at what it looks like. If you go to join a rally or you start a rally or anything like that, this is what you'll see. You get your main general and an assistant general. You can change the general simply by clicking on it and then replacing it with another one. Or you have the option to completely remove the assistant general over here. You click that, it removes the general, and you go with your normal general. So before we carry on, let us give a quick breakdown of what you can't do with the Assistant General feature. First things first, buffs from your gear, that's the gear on your general, including refines, buffs from dragons and spirit beasts do not apply to the Assistant General. In addition, you can't double up on generals. So if you have two of the same general, you can't add both of them, one as main, one as assistant, and get double the buffs. It doesn't work like that. Also, like-for-like skills do not apply for assistant generals. There needs to be some variation on the skill set for it to work. Let me give you a quick example. So I've got two legions. If I go to my general list, go to favorites, you can see both of them there. But when I click on the boss and I want to select the assistant general, I scroll through the list and you can see that the second one doesn't come up. So you can't have like for like. You can't double up on generals. Now, if I pick Himiko over here, if you look at the top left of Himiko, you can see the dragon icon and you can see that it's grayed out. That means that the dragon does not apply when she's an assistant general. If we click over here, we can see her stats. And the first thing that you can see over here is that all the stats for leadership, attack, politics, defense, they are all zeroed out. So these stats do not apply either. The only things that apply are the special skills for the general, the skill books that you have, and specialties. That's it. So it's a combination of these that would make it worthy for a general to be used as an assistant. Now that we've gone through that, let's talk about what you actually can do. Based on testing so far, pretty much every situation that you can send a general out, you can also send an assistant as well. And like I said, the skill books of the general, the special skill, and specialties will apply. So the key thing when using this system is what kind of generals or what combination of generals will you be using. So let's take a look at, first, essential combinations. Based on testing so far, the following are combinations that I feel are 100% essential for anyone playing Evony. The first one, and I need to say this wholeheartedly, rejoice, my friends, for the risk of getting caught with your pants down has been considerably reduced with this new system. What am I talking about? Let's go into my keep for a second. With the new Assistant General system, it's not only the generals that you send out that can be assisted. Your wall general can also be assisted. Yep, for real. Now, the beautiful thing about this first combination is that if you click on Defense General, there you see it. You can have your main wall general and you can have Shaja as an assistant. Shaja's skill is unique, one of a kind in the game, and she can pretty much go as a combination for any defense wall general in the game. So, as opposed to how it was before, you can have your wall general and Shaja as an assistant permanently on there. That would make sure that your keep is defended and you continue to get the in-city resource bonus that Shaja gives you. That is the first essential combination that we're going to cover here. The next one we're going to look at is for your boss generals. And we go to the rally list right here. You can see my alliance mate Brownie. He's got his boss general on there and he's got a debuff general with her as well. So the second combination is your boss general plus a boss debuff general. That is an essential combination that has come up with this new system. And it works awesome. We've been doing this all day so far, and it has significantly reduced the amount of wounded that we've been getting on bosses. It's awesome. The next essential combination, and this one is also great, I'm going to show it right now, is that you can combine Baybars or Cleopatra with Nathaniel Green. You can combine the two to get the double drop plus the reduced stamina from Nathaniel Green. This is great if you're running a lot of bosses because you're getting the best of both worlds with this. So this combination is great. The final essential combination that we're going to look at is the double debuff combination. And this is particularly helpful when you're doing those high-level bosses in your alliance. You can send off one debuff general like Sanada and assist him with another debuff general like Cortez. And this is particularly awesome when your family members, alts, are joining boss rallies as well. It really helps with the very big bosses. The next thing that we're going to look at with this new system is in relation to PvP. Now, from initial testing, Assistant General add to your total buffs when engaging in PvP. I ran some preliminary tests. Here is the first report, and this is just with a regular general. You can see the buffs here. And then here is the second report, same general, same troops, but with an assistant general. You can see the change in the buffs here. So what we can say about the assistant general system so far is that it works particularly well when the assistant general, or in some cases, the main general, has a multi-troop type skill. So when they are buffing more than one troop type, or when they are buffing two different stats for the same troop type. It works particularly well with those. It doesn't work all that great with single skill generals. Take my Li Jing, for example. Li Jing is a single skill general. Depending on who you are using, he might work as an assistant or not. But if you're using him as a main general and you have an assistant that has a multi-troop skill, that would work very well. Like I mentioned earlier, like-for-like generals don't work. So, for example, here is Li Jing as main general, and here is Martinus as an assistant general. The two of them don't work because their main skills are focused on increasing mounted attack. And even if you flip it round with Martinus as main and Li Jing as assistant, it still doesn't work. However, if you take a look here, you can see I have a combination of Li Jing and Hannibal. This works. You can also take a look here from one of my alliance mates, and we have another combination here with Roland. These work. The buffs will be applied as appropriate. The next thing that we'll talk about when it comes to PvP is that debuff generals also work as assistants. I did a brief check. Here is a report that I have without a debuff general. And here is the follow-up report with the debuff general. You can see the increase in the mounted troop debuff here. So debuff generals work well as assistant generals. Another good thing with the assistant general system is that it also works when reinforcing. So when you're sending reinforcements, you can send your main general, mounted, cav, arch, whatever you're sending, and send an assistant general as well. Someone like Dimitri works quite well when sending for reinforcements. And then again, of course, finally, your world general. As I showed earlier, the world general can also be assisted. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, my thoughts on how this new system relates to PvP. I think it would be good in terms of giving your troops an extra buff or shoring up some weak spots in your defenses, for example. Based on initial impressions, I don't think this is going to completely change the way the game works in terms of multi-troop type attacks, those kind of things, for one main reason, and that's because the way the system currently works now, only the buffs on the gear of the main general apply. So If your main general is a range general, for example, you've set up your gear for range troops, you've set up your refines for range troops, adding an assistant general is not going to magically make that general particularly good for both range and cavs, for example. Depending on the combination you go with, you could give an extra boost to a second troop type, but in reality, we're talking of anywhere between 15 to maybe 50%, depending on the combination that you're using. It could be more if you have a general that has specialties as well, but in most cases, you probably won't have a second general of a similar troop type with full specialties that you're going to be sending out as an assistant. One other thing that I hadn't been able to test yet, and I'm sure it's something that we're going to find out very soon as more people get their hands on the system and try it out, is regarding PvP rallies. As you can see here, from my initial checks, assistant generals can be included in PvP rallies. How that is going to translate to buffs and debuffs, those kind of things on the overall report and the overall performance of a rally is something that is yet to be seen. And I'm sure we're going to find out very soon, but it's something that is definitely interesting. So that's the quick overview of the assistant general system. Do keep in mind those essential combinations because there are things that I feel you're going to be using very, very much all the time with this new system. Any updates or any further information that I can get my hands on, I'll make an update video and put it out there for you guys. Thank you, and Aka signing out.